From the studios of A Christian Viewpoint, going out into all the world and preaching the gospel to all nations, here is your host, Minister Michael Patrick Mitchell.
We're going to jump right in here this morning, and I would like to read from the book of Ephesians chapter 4, and I'm going to be reading verse 14. And this is going to kind of be the foundation for what we're going to talk about today. But I want you to listen closely to this verse, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14. It says, "Then we will no longer be like children, forever changing our minds about what we believe, because someone has told us something different, or has cleverly lied to us and made the lie sound like the truth." Today's message I've titled, The Woke Right. The Woke Right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I am some type of a war or international strategy specialist, like so many on the internet are doing today, by regurgitating everything that they are digesting. But I do want to give my 2 cents concerning the war in Iran, and I would like to look at this through a Christian viewpoint. Now, this is a war, of course, between Iran and the U.S. and Israel. And what we're going to talk about today is that there is this new group of people that are rising up that are referring to themselves as the America First Republicans, of course, in contrast to the MAGA Republicans. Now, you have heard of the woke left, those radical group of leftists who have all these crazy ideas and believe all of this stuff without any credible evidence. Things like, the police are killing the black youth at an alarming rate, which just isn't true, uh, according to the facts and the statistics, or ICE agents are deporting American citizens, which also just isn't true. So, that's that group. Well, now we have this new group springing up on the right, and they are what I am calling the woke right. They are a group of people on the right who are making outlandish claims with no credible evidence. And for the most part, they are loud and they are obnoxious. And that is who these people are, these America First people. People like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly, and some others that have all joined into this new group. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree a lot with a lot that these people uh, say on their shows. I enjoy watching their programs to learn, but I don't agree with everything they say, and I especially don't agree with the direction they are heading in with this America First. Of course, I am America First, but I'm talking about the group itself. And one of the things I'm opposed to is what they are teaching is that they are opposed to the war in Iran, and they're making a lot of claims about this, that Israel, who they claim run the world in some type of deep state behind the scenes, and that Israel is evil, they are all evil, and they are all in control of everything, including Donald Trump. And they are actually the ones who started this war to benefit them so that they can take more land, which, of course, in the end, they're not going to gain more land from this. So, that accusation doesn't hold water. But they're going to take, and this is the way it is, it's really coming across this way, they're going to take these poor Iranian people's land because Israel is the bad guys. And these poor nations around them are the innocent parties or something like that. At least that's what I'm picking up on, something along those lines. And I know that among them there are slightly different views, but overall that's the message they seem to want to put out there and are portraying. And they believe that this is an unsubstantiated, that's the word I'm looking for, an unsubstantiated war, and that it does not concern America, and that we should allow the Middle East to just do whatever it's going to do over there in the Middle East and let it fend for itself and fight and do whatever it wants to do over there and just worry about what's happening on our soil here at home. Now, on the other side, we have the MAGA Republicans, and amongst those people, there is a division of sorts that's happening even among that group. There are some within that group who see Israel as an ally of the United States, as they are, and feel that we need to support our allies when they are in danger and team up with our allies to defeat our common enemies and the evil in the world. But then among that group, there are what is known as the Christian Zionists who believe Israel is much more than just an ally. They believe that Israel are the chosen people of God and that their land and their ethnicity is holy and so therefore we must fight for and with them against all of their enemies, regardless to the cost of Americans and et cetera, et cetera. Because if we don't do this, well, then God is going to punish those who do not support and bless Israel. So, where do I start here today? Well, I want to begin this way. I want to make sure people understand this. And this is just me, but I do not identify as a Democrat. I do not identify as a Republican. I simply identify as a Christian and a Christian only. Now, there was a time in my life before I was a Christian that I did identify as a liberal Democrat, and that's because of the community that I grew up in, the traditions of my family that were passed down, and what I was taught in school. So, I held to those beliefs and those views, but not any longer. I don't uh, identify as either. But I will say this, in order to vote in the primaries, depending on who I'm going to vote for, I will register accordingly. But I am simply a Christian only. Now, with that said, I will say that the party of the Republicans do have positions and policies that line up more, I think, with the Bible. And so, therefore, I line up more with that party. Uh, I also want to say this: I do not believe that Donald Trump is perfect. I do not know, but my opinion is that he is not a born again follower of Christ. But again, I don't know. That's between him and God. I do believe, though, that he is the closest president we have had in a long time, some say ever, that holds the closest to the scriptures. And I'm talking about in morality and in principle, okay, as far as what this nation is founded on and believes. So, and I actually personally believe that he is an amazing president and has done an amazing job as president and has done great things for the United States. And so I am, and I have to say, you can go back and look. I was one of the first people to support Donald Trump, even when everybody else thought that his nomination and trying to be nominated was a joke. And when most people didn't side with Donald Trump at all, I was the first one that I know of to uh, uh, side with Donald Trump and think that he would be a great president, even before he was ever elected in the primaries the first time around. I even had a preacher attack my character because I was siding with Donald Trump and was putting things out there that we should vote for Donald Trump. I had a fellow preacher of mine right here in my state come against me for it. But later on, he jumped on the bandwagon, started supporting Trump, and became a big supporter of Trump. And of course, later on, he apologized to me. No, I'm kidding. He didn't apologize to me. So, uh, but anyway, now there are many Christians who believe uh, that Donald Trump should be president and is a great president. Now, uh, there are many Christians also who believe this that we should not be involved in politics at all. And if that's you, that's fine. I don't agree with you. They don't believe we should be involved in politics or identify as Americans. And if that's you, again, that's fine. I disagree. I am a proud American citizen. That does not in any way, I think, negate my citizenship, which is in heaven. You see, and where I get this from, my viewpoint here is from the Bible, like the Apostle Paul. I look at the Apostle Paul, who was a Roman citizen and used his status as a Roman citizen to appeal to Caesar. In the same way, I am an American citizen and I use my status to appeal, to influence, to vote, to persuade uh, my leaders and my fellow citizens. And I do believe, Acts chapter 17, the Lord put me here in these days for a reason, and that this is my mission field, and I must have a burden and a love for those whom I have been sent out to uh, win. Now, I just want to show you this over in the book of Acts, chapter 22. Acts chapter 22, and looking at verse 25, he says here, This is the Apostle Paul. As they tied Paul down to lash him, Paul said to an officer standing there, "Is it legal for you to whip a Roman citizen who hasn't even been tried?" The officer went to the commander and he asked, "What are you doing? This man is a Roman citizen." So the commander went over and asked Paul, "Tell me, are you a Roman citizen?" "Yes, I certainly am." So here is a Christian, the Apostle Paul, nonetheless, who also at the same time simultaneously identified as a citizen of Rome. So I likewise believe that it is okay for me to simultaneously uh, identify as both a citizen in the kingdom of God, but also an American citizen. Now, either Paul was lying and being facetious and in order to take advantage of a system, or he was being truthful. I'll go with the latter. Now, with all that said, let's address two things today. Number one, we're going to address Israel and the accusations that are coming from these woke right America First group. And then secondly, whether or not we should be at war and in the war with Iran. Now, again, number one, Israel. These accusations they are making. And I am no international analyst or expert, but I do try to look into both sides and look at the evidence before I decide where I stand. And unless I am blind or just stupid, and maybe that's what you'll say, you're just stupid, but these accusations that I'm hearing from this group that Israel is some type of Illuminati and that's based and is in control of the entire world, I just don't see the evidence. I hear the accusation, but I just don't see the evidence. And, I personally, I don't go outside and feel surrounded by and controlled by Israel. Okay. Anywhere that I go. Now, yeah, there are Jews that are successful in certain industries, but there are successful Asians and successful Americans and things in many different industries. I want to read something to you here out of the book of Proverbs, chapter 14. Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 15. Look what it says here. It says, "Only a simpleton believes what he is told. A prudent man checks to see where he is going." So, yeah, that's kind of a lot that's going on here. These people are just believing what they are told, believing these accusations. And I got to say, a lot of these accusations are just conspiracy. They're not facts that are backed up with any evidence, and nobody can provide any evidence for what they're saying. Now, again, I'm not Tucker Carlson, and I haven't seen what he has saw, and I haven't been involved on the level that he's been involved in. Same with Candace Owens and Mark Levin and Glenn Beck and all of these guys for that matter. I don't know and am not on the level of intelligence, the background intelligence like these men. And so maybe they know something I do not, and maybe I'm wrong. And I do. I listen to both of these men, all of these men, to see what they are saying, and have great respect for all of these people. And a lot of truth does come from these people. But the things that they are saying about Israel, they have no solid proof. It's a lot of he said, she said. And so if you show me some solid proof, then I'll believe it. But I'm just going to tell you what I have seen and what I have heard. And this is the solid proof that I have. And for myself, what I have seen and what I have heard, that's all I can really testify to. And that is that the one and only nation that has had our back each and every time something has sprung up, uh, undoubtedly has been the nation of Israel. They are a faithful friend to the United States. I can see that with my own two eyes every time something happens. And I'm going to tell you what else I see. I see that every single country over there in the Middle East, whether it's uh, the Palestinians, whether it's the Iranians, the Iraqis, the Pakistanis, whatever it might be, I see that every single one of them, and I've seen it in video with my own two eyes, and I've watched videos of witness after witness give accounts of this, that these people are Islamic jihadists who are evil, who murder people, who murder their own people and commit genocide. They have used chemical warfare against their own people. Again, I have seen the pictures, I have seen the videos. We know that they throw homosexuals off of buildings, they mistreat women, they mutilate women's genital parts over there. I'm sorry to be nasty and so blunt, but that's the truth. They force children into marriages with older men. These are all things that I have seen. This is all solid proof that any of us can go straight to the internet and look and see that these things be true. And we see that they have waged jihad against anybody who are not Islamist, who are not Muslim, especially, particularly Israel and Christians. And we see that they are constantly attacking and persecuting Israel and Christians. I have saw the video. I have saw and heard the eyewitness testimony of people who have seen this and have been involved in this. I have saw the beheadings, the torture. I've seen the videos of them burning the American flag in their streets, and I've heard them screaming the death chants of death to America. And so that is what I see. That is the solid proof that I have concerning Israel and concerning these people. And you know what else I see? Here's what I see. I see Israel welcoming Americans. I've never been, but I've known plenty of people who have, and they were welcomed with open arms and safe there. So I see this, and I know Tucker Carlson said, oh, Christians are mistreated. I think it was Tucker Carlson that said that. I don't want to misquote them, but one of these American First guys, one of the things they're saying that group is you're mistreated as a Christian. That's not true. There's no evidence, no credible evidence to that. Maybe there's a lone case here or there, but I've known people who've gone over there and said it was amazing and the people were wonderful. I see a civilized people among an uncivilized people who do everything that they can to live in peace with their neighbors. They have given up so much of their land that they feel that they are entitled to by God through the Bible, and we'll get into that in just a moment, but that's what they feel, yet they have compromised and did something that they, if that was the truth, that they shouldn't have done, and gave up parts of their land for peace. They have struck up peace deal after peace deal with these people, and every single time these people have broken that peace deal. They never strike first. Israel never strikes first. They always get struck first, and then they strike back secondly, and they strike back hard. And I listen to the speeches of these leaders. I've listened to the speeches of Bibi Netanyahu and what he has to say and how he's calling for peace. Now, you can call him a liar, but you have to have some type of credible evidence. But I'll tell you what I see. I see the leaders of these other nations, and I see their speeches, and they're not calling for peace. They're calling for war. So that's the evidence that I see. Okay, and there is a stark difference between Israel and the other nations that they are surrounded by, who are asking for bloodshed, the shed blood of Israel and the shed blood of Americans. And here is what I know for certain, that one religion doesn't call for the murder of infidels and the other one does. Okay, the Jews don't call for the murder of those who don't believe in what they believe. I know the Old Testament, but these people do. And I know their Quran, and I know their Hadith, and I know their teachings. I'm not somebody who just doesn't read those things and then makes all these accusations. I've read into the Quran. I haven't studied it completely. I haven't mastered it. I haven't read it from front to back, but I've studied into things. I've read the scriptures for myself, and I see clearly that they call for the death of those who don't agree with what they believe. And I see that they have, like the Christians, a great commission, and that's found in Surah chapter 9, verse 32 in the Quran, which says that they are to go out and to kill the infidel, to make them convert or kill them. And so, quite frankly, I'm tired of the woke right, tired of the keyboard warriors who's never read the Bible, who never read the Quran, who never read the Hadith, who have all of these opinions, who have never studied any international issues or took human geography. I took a course in human geography to learn the different views and beliefs and peoples of the world. I'm tired of them regurgitating everything they are hearing from these America First guys. It's so obvious that they have no clue what they are talking about. They are just repeating the same script that they're hearing on the internet verbatim. And here is what I believe, that the Republican Party was so united under Donald Trump. I mean, that party was so strong and so united like it may have never been. And It took control of the House and of the Senate and of the presidency, and great things were getting done. Abortion, what he did through the Supreme Court with abortion has been one of the greatest things that has ever happened to this country. But I believe that there are things, people behind the scenes, forces that are at work that are trying to divide the party through these people in order to win back the House and the Senate and the presidency and the Supreme Court and whatever else they can. Now, again, I don't want to be like these people. I have no credible evidence of that. I'm just looking at what I see, and there's some things that are really fishy, and just seem to be some agendas that look that appear to be taking place. But again, it's just my speculation. But it's real funny that these characters have grown up overnight, and all of them are just saying the same thing. The same rhetoric is just coming out so quickly. All have the same narrative. And again, I have so much respect for these people. But look, money is a powerful thing, and the love of money is the root of all evil. And the threats on their lives and their families are real. I know. I've experienced these threats. I've experienced the doxing that you get where people tell you to shut up or else. So I can only imagine what they are going through. But I'll say this as well. I operate on evidence, and the evidence has been overwhelming that Donald Trump knows what he is doing and is someone that we can trust. He has not shown me anything contrary to that. Okay. And he is somebody that has proven time and time again that he is making the right decisions. Now, again, he is not perfect, and we shouldn't just blindly trust in anybody, but in matters that are so complicated, that are over my head, that are so deep, and he knows so much more than I do, I voted for this person to go in there and to make those decisions on my behalf. And I trust this person that he is capable, through seeing the decisions he have made so far, that he is capable of making good decisions. Why is it that all of a sudden these people have sprung up and they were staunch Trump supporters? I mean, they were behind Trump completely, but now all of a sudden overnight they have all turned against him. That's some evidence there for us to look at. We ought to question that. And all what? All over one decision. One decision is all it took for them to disagree with him. And he's made decisions that I've disagreed with, but I didn't turn on him because of that. He's not going to make every decision that I agree with, but he made one decision to go to war against Iran, to stop Iran, and now they're his enemy. Just seems incredible and suspicious to me. Now, secondly, we have to go on. We want to talk about whether or not we should have went to war against Iran, whether or not Donald Trump did make a good decision on going to war. And I want to say it this way. Here's, again, my view on this, and we're going to look at a Christian viewpoint on this. But who is it that declared war? First of all, okay, it wasn't Donald Trump. You say, oh, Donald Trump did, or I guess they would say Israel did, and Donald Trump has to do what Israel says. I don't know. But my friends, that's not true. That is not true at all. It was Iran that declared war on us. It was Iran that declared war on you and me. Okay, I don't know if you've been watching, but there's proof to that. There's evidence of that. They're the ones that declared war on the United States years ago, decades ago. They've been declaring war on us for decades, and the problem is nobody has done anything about it. Do you not remember seeing, and you can go and see them now because they're still doing it, the death chants and the burning of the American flag? I don't know about you, but if there's any nation in this world that is burning our flag and stepping on our flag and desecrating our flag and calling for the death of Americans, we need to do something about that ASAP. They refer to us, the United States, me and you, they refer to us and Israel at the same time as Satan. They call us Satan. And they said that we are a two-headed snake, Israel and the United States. We are a two-headed snake, and they must smash the head of that snake. Now, again, I don't know about you, but if there is someone out there in the world that is declaring that they want me dead, they want me and my children dead, they are calling for the eradication of all Mitchells. The Mitchell family are snakes. They are Satan, and we must smash the head of the Mitchell family and eradicate them from the face of the earth. And they are threatening my life and the lives of my children, hoping and wishing and praying and looking for the opportunity to kill me and my family. My friends, I have to do something about that before they make good on their threats. I'm sorry. I do believe I have the responsibility and the God-given right to protect my family from harm and to protect the innocent, whether it's my family or my neighbor's family, from harm. And I get that from the book of Exodus. Exodus 22. I'll show you what it says here. And I got to hurry up because I imagine we're running out of time here. Exodus 22, and look at verse 2. It says, if a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and he is killed, the one who killed him is not guilty. But if it happens in the daylight, it must be presumed to be murder, and the man who kills him is guilty.
Thank you for watching A Christian Viewpoint. Your prayers and support help us continue sharing truth across the nation. Send your support to the address on the screen or visit us online at achristianviewpoint.com. Subscribe to our annual magazine and stay informed.
Across parts of Nigeria today, many believers live under constant pressure. Families face poverty, instability, and, in some regions, open hostility toward their faith. Children are often the most vulnerable, growing up without safety, without opportunity, and without access to quality education. For orphans and underprivileged children, the future can feel hopeless before it even begins. Yet in the midst of these challenges, God is still at work. Great Hidden Treasures Christian Schools is seeking partners who share a vision for reaching the next generation through education and faith. Support is needed in the form of financial assistance, educational materials, and volunteer involvement. Every contribution helps place a child in a classroom, put books in their hands, and plant the Word of God in their hearts. For many of these children, this school is their only opportunity to escape the cycle of poverty. It is a place where orphans are known by name, where underprivileged children are treated with dignity, and where the love of Christ is not only taught but lived out every day. But the need is great, and this work cannot continue alone. To learn more about Great Hidden Treasures Christian Schools and how you can partner in this work, please visit our website on the screen. Together, we can make an eternal impact, one family, one community at a time.